The most anticipated quarterfinal matchup of the 2022 Australian Open is a battle between two imposing lefty personalities as 20-time slam champ Rafael Nadal faces off against talented young Canadian Denis Shapovalov. I'll preview this matchup and predict who I think will make it to the Final Four here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today. Getting into the head-to-head between these two, Rafa leads it 3-1, but all of their matches have been competitive, especially their latest tour meeting at Rome. Nadal will be a bit more rested than his counterpart, only dropping one set thus far to Shapovalov's 4. This is why he spent 3 hours less on court total. Regardless, both have played very solid tennis in 2022, Rafa being undefeated after also winning a warm-up event the week prior. Shapo helped guide Canada to the ATP Cup title, getting crucial wins in the second singles spot. In Melbourne, Rafa opened up with decisive straight-set wins over Marcos Giron and Yannick Hanfmann. He continued his high level of play against 28 seed Karen Khachanov and still had a very good performance, winning it in 4. His latest match against Adrian Mannarino was probably his worst match of the tournament, and a lot of this was because Adrian stepped up and took the ball early to gain control of the court positioning. Nadal did enable this himself though, often hitting his shots far too short, especially in the opening set. Rafa, as he always does though, remained mentally tough, saving 4 set points to scrape by, which ultimately turned out to be the major turning point. Nadal did do better with his court positioning as the match progressed, also taking advantage of the Frenchman's winning condition to advance. Rafael's been solid on serve all tournament as he hasn't been afraid to go up and after it. This is why his first serve points won percentage has been so high, but the second serve is important too. In the opening set against Mannarino, where he struggled the most, Rafa won 52% of second serve points, which was due to both Mannarino's aggressive attacking and Nadal not taking enough risks. In the second set, Mannarino backed off a bit and Nadal was a bit more aggressive, which was why he won 86% of second serve points. Meanwhile, Denis has definitely gotten better as the tournament progressed. His opening 2 matches against Laszlo Djere and Soo Woo Kwon were shaky, especially the latter, where he had to recover from a 2-1 deficit. His 2 recent matches though were his best, as he eased past the seeded opponents Riley Opelka and Alexander Zverev with less drama. In the opening few rounds, the Canadian waned in and out between crushing unbelievable winners past his opponents, then missing by miles. He often struggled to find a decent middle ground because there were times where he was aware of his high unforced error count and started to be a bit more tentative. When this happens, he doesn't swing all the way through on his forehand, more or less arming it in, which causes his shots to land short, setting him up to be attacked. However, since the end of the Kwon match, Denis has hit his forehand with much more shape, which has given him the opportunity to work the point more before finishing more appropriately. The 22-year-old serving has been integral as he's been hitting more lefty sliders to open up the court for himself to attack and dictate. Also, the return of serve has been crucial for Shapovalov, and many have noticed how he's been blocking more of them back in play. This has been a successful move for Denis because oftentimes he misses far too many returns as a result of simply doing too much, just swinging too hard and fast. His chips and blocks have directly increased his returns made rate, which then betters his chances of breaking. Zverev didn't play his best tennis at all and served much worse than what we're accustomed to. Denis does deserve some of the credit though by making the German play more extra balls than normal after that first serve. Denis pretty much always plays well against Rafa. He seems to like the lefty v lefty matchup because it gives him more looks at doing something with his forehand. I also think Nadal's heavy spin forces him to build the points before pulling the trigger. Because of this, Rafa did better off by taking more of an aggressive approach rather than just take a step back and try to extract errors from the Canadian's racket. Denis has success in their Rome and Abu Dhabi exhibition matches because he was able to go toe-to-toe with Rafa from the ground and often out-hit him. Shapo has more of a powerful backhand than Rafa, and when they engaged in backhand rallies, Nadal would often offer up shorter replies that gave Denis the chance to gain control. Shapovalov also did well when changing directions, especially off that backhand wing, which often caught Nadal off guard. Nadal stepped up and used his slider serve to pull Denis off the court before attacking the weaker backhand wing. Like with Shapo, Nadal found success when he stepped up and went down the line as many times as he was able to put the Canadian on defense by making him scramble. Besides going to the wide serve religiously against one another, these two also frequented the net with relatively good success. Nadal won more points in the full court because he approached better and picked up on Shapo's passing returns. Meanwhile, Shapovalov, while still doing solid up at the net, was still getting passed a bit too much by Rafa's forehand cross. Just going over the keys to the match, first starting with Rafa, he needs to of course maintain good pace and depth and can't do like he did against Mannarino because Shapo will eat him alive. Similarly, he needs to weaponize his backhand and really go after that shot to expose Denis's own backhand. Whenever Rafa did this in their previous matches, he usually got a shorter reply and sealed the point. Keeping up with this theme of aggression, I want to see Nadal still be aggressive on serve, both on the first and second. I think serving more to the body would be a good strategy as it prevents the Canadian from teeing off. Then lastly, I just said continue to frequent the net as he's done all week, as he be in less baseline rallies, which I favor Shapovalov in, by the way. Focusing on Denis's keys, I think it'd be good to change directions when possible, as he's often done against Rafa, but combine that with some net approaches too. Next, Denis should continue his effective returning by making more first serves returns in general, and making Nadal play more shots behind it. I also think he should attack Rafael's second serve more to get an early jump on the court positioning battle. The next point is to maintain high-level serving. Denis has an excellent serve and he has been doing well to use the slider more this fortnight. However, he does have periods where his first serve percentage drops and the double faults begin to pour. He could have made life easier for himself this tournament if he just held on to that serve. Even against Zverev, he allowed the German to take control in the second because of these dips. My last point connects to this, which is to be more opportunistic. I've realized this week that Denis is one of the worst players at taking their breakpoint chances, which is a major contributor to why he's played as long as he has. Bottom line, he cannot afford to have these lapses and miss opportunities because, like we saw with Mannarino, Nadal would definitely make you pay. For my final match prediction, I have Denis coming through in 4 tight sets to make the last 4. I feel like based on history and the matchup itself, Denis is going to at least make this match competitive. We have that bottom line. He's going to make it competitive. I believe the 14th seed has found that happy medium of patiently aggressive tennis and has cut down a lot on his errors. I feel like with the trend in recent play, he's been the better player than the Spaniard. However, Nadal will be guns a-blazing for this one, sensing Shapovalov's surge. Plus, I'm sure he'll be thinking about the loss he suffered to the Canadian at the Abu Dhabi exhibition last month. Despite this, Shapovalov will be riding high on confidence from the Zverev win, which I feel will give him the belief to notch another milestone victory. That's all for this preview, and let me know whether you agree or disagree about Shapovalov pulling off another big win in the comments. Also, make sure you all catch the other quarters match scheduled today between Gael Monfils and Matteo Berrettini. If it's anything like the 2019 US Open clash, we'll be in for a treat. Make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever the other previews are posted. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.